Above this highway in Manila, life moves at full speed. Cars, trucks, noise, heat, thousands of people passing every hour. But underneath it, hidden in the concrete, there's another world. Inside a tunnel built for flood control, dozens of families are living shoulder to shoulder. Not just one or two households, a real community. It's dark, it's cramped, and when heavy rain hits, the water can rise fast enough to wipe out what little people have. Today we're going inside to see what daily life looks like down here, how people survive, and what home means when the floor is concrete and the ceiling is barely above your head. And sometimes the risks are very real. This structure wasn't built for people. It was designed to redirect floodwater during heavy storms. Over time, though, families began settling here, slowly dividing the space into small living sections. A few meters in, you start seeing how that division works. Thin plywood sheets, fabric curtains, bits of metal and plastic. Simple materials creating makeshift rooms along both sides of the tunnel. Each section is just large enough for a mattress, maybe a small shelf, sometimes a television mounted against the wall. Electric wires run across the ceiling, connecting one space to another. The deeper you walk, the more homes appear. It isn't hidden in a corner. It stretches along the entire passage. Dozens of families live here, stacked side by side under the highway above. Some are cooking outside and carrying food back in. Others sit close to fans, trying to manage the heat that builds up inside the concrete. Children move through the narrow walkway like it's normal. Laundry hangs along the walls. Buckets of water sit outside doorways. You begin to understand that this isn't temporary shelter. For a few nights. For many of the people here, this has been home for years. And just above this ceiling, traffic moves non-stop, completely unaware of the community living. Directly underneath. As you move deeper, you start meeting the people who actually live here. Not as a headline, just as families trying to get through the day. We stop at one of the first homes near the entrance and speak with a mother inside. For her, this tunnel isn't a strange place anymore. It's just where life happens. We ask the simple questions first.
Dito na kayo, dito kayo pinanganak, kayo. Tapos yung, paano yung may mga kaibigan kayo na nakikita?
Opo. Kaso dinimolis na dito. Papa.
May mga kaibigan ka na umalis tapos bumalik.
Wala.
Pero may mga natira pala.
Na?
Parang kababata mo.
Meron naman. May mga asawa na din.
And then the bigger question is, why would anyone choose to live inside a tunnel like this?
Ano po, yung baga, kung may choice po kayo na yung hindi dun sa relocation na yun, sa ibang lugar po, ano to? Magta-try pa rin po ba kayo ng lumipat? Or gusto niyo po prepare niyo po na dito?
Ako hindi. Ako ano na nga ako dito kasi siyempre habang lumalaki yung mga anak ko, ayaw ko naman yung dito na lang sila lagi. Ang hirap ng sitwasyon namin dito. Tinitis ko lang yan. Kung halimbawa, ako iniisip ko, kung halimbawa makapagtapos yung anak ko, siyempre magtrabaho, alis talaga kami dito. Hindi pwedeng dito lang kami. Ano na pag hindi ko na kayang umakyat dyan sa hagdan na yan. Katulad nakaraang buwan nga may matanda dito, nahulog yan. Namatay. Hindi nakatira doon.
Parang alam niyo naman po na delikado pero wala pa lang po. Pero ang ano po ang plano niyo ng pagtatanda?
Ako naman, ang plano ko talaga, halimbawa, yan naman, di naman siguro kami na ganito lang ako eh. Kung halimbawa may anak akong makapagtapos na yung dalawa kong anak na yan, talaga ko ng bahay ng may bahay naman akong pang permanente na. Doon na talaga kami titira. Hindi na pwedeng, hindi ko na kaya magtulak ng kariton. Oo, inaano ko lang, yun lang ang Pinaglalaban ko dito. Patapos ko lang mga anak ko. Hindi rin naman ako papayag na dito lang lagi yung mga anak ko. Ako nga, kung meron lang kami ngayon, ayaw ko dito. Sa totoo lang.
For some, it starts as temporary. A few weeks, a few months. But time passes, kids grow up, and suddenly it becomes years. Living here means building systems out of almost nothing.
Yan yung bahay. Oo, yan yung bahay na walang haligi. Bubong lang mayroon.
Kung may kuryente po kayo dito.
Opo.
Tapos, sige, may upa po kayo dito.
Wala.
Tubig.
Humigib lang.
Saan po kayo nagluluto?
Diyan po kay la mama. Diyan lang. May super kalan po sila.
Bali, ikaw ay ilang months?
3 months.
3 months back. Nandito na din yung kawa mo.
Opo, nandito na. Siya po gumawa nito. Yung iba po.
When heavy rain comes, everything gets wet. Wires hang low in certain areas. People adapt because they have to. It's not comfortable. It's not secure. But for the families here, it's structured enough to function.
Ay, nabaha dito. Nabaha dito pagka ano. Hindi. Gano'ng kataas? Gano'ng kataas? Eh, saan kayo nagstay? Saan kayo nagtumulaw?
Kami ko po sa kaso may deposit doon po sa may sa may banda sa may gate po dyan, di ba? Sa may St. Peter po.
Ilang araw kayo?
Ano lang po, isang gabi lang.
Isang gabi na. Ano yung sitwasyon na natuturing na pinakamatira na ginanas mo rin?
Siguro yung pagbaha. Kasi may time na inaabot, may time na hindi. Siyempre parang pag binabaha, parang ay, wala kami mapupuntahan pag bumaha ng ganito kataas. Siyempre parang iniisip mo yung kung paano kung bigla kaming maabot, tas tulog kami, tas biglang bumaha. Wala na kami magagawa. Kaya parang ayun yung problema na gusto kong masolusyonan. Parang gusto ko talaga ialis mga magulang ko dito.
Privacy is minimal. Cleanliness depends entirely on cooperation. Despite the conditions, daily routines still form. Kids wake up, some go to school, adults leave too. Find work.
May mga kalaro kayo dyan na hindi mga pumapasok. Okay.
Opo.
Bakit kaya hindi pumapasok?
Wala po. Nabubuli rin po kasi sila sa
Nabubuli
school
po
po.
sila.
Talagang ayaw nilang pumasok kasi.
Kasi ano po, sinasabihan sila lagi ng
Mahirap po.
Mahirap.
Dukha.
walang kaya. Yun po yung sinasabi sa akin.
Opo.
Kaya hindi po sila minsan pumapasok.
Opo.
From the outside it looks unstable, but inside there's a rhythm.
Naliligo na lang po kami para kumuha ko ng mga mineral. Yan po.
Opo.
Pero hindi po kami lumulubog sa ganyan po.
Ikinagdala
po
ko talaga.
Hindi po. Nag-ano na po talaga kami, lumalangoy kami para makuha namin mga plastic. Sibak, mga ganyan
Sibak po. Tapos mga bangka po.
Tapos minsan po may mga bola po dyan na magaganda po. Yung mga bola po.
Opo,
mga
nagawa
inaano
po sa amin.
Tapos binibenta po namin.
Magkano yung benta niyo sa kalakal?
Mga kalakal po. Minsan po,
Mga
200.
20 po, depende po kung sa ibang junk shop.
Pag bote,
Depende po sa kilo po. Depende po sa junk shop.
pag ganyan, yung mga bote ng tubig.
Tubig pag malinis po,
Parang nire-reject nila pero pag malinis, mahal yung kuha.
Opo, 22 pesos po.
Per kilo.
Opo, 1 kilo po.
Life here is tough, uncertain, and often invisible to the world above. Every day is a struggle, finding food, staying safe, and protecting the little they have. The conditions are harsh, and the challenges never seem to end. Yet this is the reality many families wake up to every single day. But even in these difficult conditions, hope does not disappear. Despite the struggles, many still hold on to dreams of a better future. They dream of stability, of opportunity, and of giving their children a life that is safer and full of possibilities, far from the tunnels they call home today.
Ano ang pangarap mo?
Flight, FA. 10 years na yun eh. Tapos na ako sa pag-aaral nun. Nagtatrabaho na ako ng FA. Imagine mo if ever mag-working student ako ng college. Siyempre parang may ma-earn akong money nun. Habang nag-earn ako ng money, nagtatabi ako para sa tuition ko, tapos para mabawi yung bahay namin doon sa Rizal. Para mapatayo ko yung bahay, para maalis ko dito yung mama ko.
Anong gusto mong maging?
Ano po ako, basketball player.
Oo. Magaling ka mag-basketball.
Anong gusto mong maging? Pangarap ko po matapos ng pag-aaral po para po matulungan ko po yung magulang ko po.
When asked about the future, many speak about hopes that may seem simple to some, but mean everything to them. A stable job that can provide daily food, a safe place to sleep without fear of rain or flooding, and most of all, the chance for their children to receive an education and build a life beyond these tunnels. For parents here, the dream is not luxury or wealth, it is stability. It is the hope that one day their children will have opportunities they themselves never had. Yet for many of the children growing up here, this place is the only world they have ever known. Some of them say that even if they had the choice, they would stay. Their friends are here. Their families are here. This tunnel, despite the hardship, feels like home.
Gusto mo umalis dito or gusto mo dito lang?
Dito lang po.
Ah!
Dito na po ako nasanay.
Ganon, kunwari bibigyan kayo ng nung parang relocation or o doon kayo. Dito.
Wala sa mga.
Hindi, kunwari kayo isang buong pamilya.
Pwede rin po.
Pero kontento ka na dito or gusto mo bahay?
Dito lang.
Gusto mo ba mag-stay dito o lipat ng ibang ba?
Mag-stay na lang po ako dito kasi po dito na po ako lumaki po eh.
The tunnel is more than just a home for them. It is a growing community. What began as a small group of families has now expanded, with more than 20 families calling this place home. Each family brings its own stories, struggles, and small victories, creating a network of support where neighbors look out for one another. In a place where life is uncertain, this sense of community becomes a lifeline. People share what little they have, watch over each other's children, and help protect each other from the risks that come with living here. In many ways, these families have built their own neighborhood, strong, resilient, and connected, beneath the streets of the city. Families here face judgment and misconceptions from the world above. People often assume that because they live below, they must be thieves or drug users. But the reality is very different. These are decent families, working hard every day just to get by.
Yung ano sa palagay mo yung parang tingin sa inyo na hindi naman talaga. Yung tingin ng ibang tao na hindi naman totoo.
Tingin sa amin parang kami, mga magnanakaw dyan. Mga ganun, mga adik, ganun. Hindi naman po, yung pamilya namin kahit ganito kami. Siguro sa iba po, pero kami hindi po talaga.
So parang sasabi mo ba na hindi batayan ng yung yung tirahan mo? Yun na yung mo, yun na yung pagkatao niyo.
Opo. Kaya masasabi ko talaga sa mga tao dyan sa pag inaano po kami na magnanakaw ganun, pinapakita po talaga namin na hindi kami ganun.
Kasi may mga trabaho na.
Opo.
Life under the tunnels is hard, unpredictable, and often unseen. Yet in this hidden world, families survive, children play, and communities grow stronger with every challenge they face. Every flood, every struggle, every judgment from above is met with courage. Here, people build homes with their hands, create friendships that last a lifetime, and nurture dreams that reach far beyond these walls. Their lives remind us that dignity, hope, and perseverance are not measured by where you live, but by the strength you carry inside. And in the end, even beneath the city, the human spirit continues to shine.